Once upon a time, in a world not so different from our own, yet shrouded in shadows of oppression, there existed a place called the Republic of Gilead. It was a land where the sky seemed eternally gray, and the buildings towered like silent sentinels, casting long shadows over the weary souls that inhabited its streets. In this dystopian landscape, amidst the ever-watchful gaze of surveillance cameras and the heavy silence that hung in the air, lived a young woman named Offred. Clad in the iconic red robe of a handmaid, she moved through the city with a determination that belied the weight of her circumstances. Every day was a battle against despair, yet Offred refused to surrender to the darkness that threatened to consume her. For within her heart burned a flame of hope, a beacon that guided her through the darkest of nights and whispered tales of freedom yet to come. As she walked the streets of Gilead, Offred sought out the small moments of connection that kept her spirit alive. A shared glance with a fellow handmaid, a whispered word of encouragement exchanged in secret. These were the threads of resistance that bound her to others who dared to dream of a better tomorrow. In the opulent halls of the commander's house, where luxury masked the tyranny that lay beneath, Offred played her part with a smile upon her lips and defiance in her heart. Yet, even as she performed her duties, she plotted alongside the underground resistance, weaving plans for a daring escape from the clutches of their oppressors. When the time came to make their move, Offred and her allies did not hesitate. With courage as their guide and hope as their compass, they embarked on a journey fraught with danger, pursued by the agents of the regime who sought to extinguish the flame of rebellion. But Offred would not be deterred, for she knew that the fight for freedom was worth any sacrifice. And as she stood on the brink of a new beginning, her eyes alight with determination, she knew that the story of their struggle was far from over. For in the end, it was not the darkness that defined them, but the light that shone from within, the light of hope, of courage, and of the unbreakable human spirit. And though their path was uncertain, Offred and her companions faced the future with smiles upon their faces, knowing that together, they could overcome any obstacle that stood in their way. As Offred and her companions ventured further from the confines of Gilead, their journey became a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Through dense forests and winding rivers, across barren deserts and rugged mountains, they pressed on, their determination unwavering in the face of adversity. Along the way, they encountered allies who offered them shelter and support, their kindness a reminder that, even in the darkest of times, there were those who still believed in the power of hope. Together, they forged ahead, their spirits buoyed by the knowledge that they were not alone in their struggle. But their path was not without its dangers. At every turn, they faced obstacles that tested their resolve. A treacherous cliffside path, a raging river swollen with rain, a pack of hungry wolves prowling in the night. Yet through it all, Offred and her companions remained steadfast, drawing strength from each other and from the flicker of hope that burned brightly within their hearts. As they journeyed onward, they encountered others who had been touched by the cruel hand of oppression, refugees fleeing from war-torn lands, families torn apart by injustice, children forced to grow up far too soon. Moved by their plight, Offred and her companions offered them aid and comfort, their acts of kindness a beacon of light in a world consumed by darkness. But as they drew closer to their destination, they knew that their greatest challenge still lay ahead. For lurking in the shadows was the ever-present threat of capture, the specter of the regime's agents who would stop at nothing to crush their rebellion. And so, with every step they took, Offred and her companions remained vigilant, their senses sharp and their wits about them. They knew that the road ahead would be fraught with peril, but they also knew that they could not turn back, not when the hope of freedom lay just beyond the horizon. As they reached the final stretch of their journey, Offred and her companions found themselves standing on the edge of a vast expanse, a shimmering sea stretching out as far as the eye could see. And in that moment, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow upon the water, they knew that they had finally reached their destination. With tears of joy streaming down their faces, Offred and her companions waded into the cool embrace of the sea, their laughter mingling with the gentle lapping of the waves. For in that moment, as they looked out upon the endless expanse before them, they knew that they were free. And as they sailed into the sunset, leaving behind the shadows of Gilead forever, Offred and her companions vowed to never forget the journey that had brought them to this moment, to never forget the sacrifices that had been made, the friendships that had been forged, and the hope that had sustained them through it all. For theirs was a story of courage and resilience, of love and friendship, of hope amidst oppression, a story that would live on long after the final chapter had been written, inspiring others to dare to dream of a better tomorrow and always try to be free and independent in life.